with regard to the March 14th, 2023, moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Bids and purchases.
Move for approval.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Moved and properly seconded on bids and purchases. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Item 4,
Move for approval.
do I hear a second
Second.
on the budget, finance, and revenue collections? Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on item 4? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item 5,
Move for approval. Second.
moved and properly seconded. Any discussions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Okay,
Chairman, we can take, if we can. Second. Police
moved
Department.
and properly seconded. We take 6 and 7 together. All agree, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Do I, a motion to approve 6 and 7?
Move for approval. Second.
Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on 6 or 7? If not, all in favor say aye. The ayes have it. Item 8,
Second.
moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item 9,
Move. Second.
moved and properly seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item 10,
Cultural Affairs, Mr. Mayor, could we take 6, Mr. 10 through 12. No, 10 through 11, anyway, 12, whatever it is.
which is it now?
11, 10 and 11 together.
10, 11 together.
That's
Do I hear a
correct.
motion? Question?
Just comment, Chair.
Okay.
I just wanted to thank Mindy Stern for item 11. The AmeriCorps Vista program is an awesome program that the city's been kind of the lead on this. And I just want to say, I've been on the receiving end of a volunteer. I know a lot of the nonprofits in the community rely on these volunteers. So they do add capacity to a lot of our nonprofit organizations in our community. And just wanted to say thanks to Mindy and the city for continuing that relationship.
All in favor of 11 and 12, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Item 13,
Move for approval.
moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on item 13? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we did 11 and 12 together.
No, we did.
10 and 11, I'm
11.
sorry.
Mhm.
Okay, item 12, do I hear a motion?
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on item 12? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item 13. Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item 14. Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item 15.
For approval.
Moved and properly second. All in favor of approving item 15, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. I'll now call on our chairman of real estate, Councilmember Appel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yesterday afternoon, the Committee on Real Estate met at 3:30. We approved first up an authorization for the mayor to execute a utility easement with CPW. This is for a right-of-way over on Hanover Street. This is to facilitate a water line in the area that passed unanimously. The next item was approval of permission by Piccolo Spoleto to use the U.S. Customs House for this year's festival. And we got clarification that there will be music in the front and in the back. On the water side, we're going to have the symphony as we have every year. And then in the front, we're going to have a pretty impressive marching band from Atlanta. So it's going to be a pretty activated area this Piccolo Spoleto season. We then approved a purchase and sale agreement between the city of Charleston and JJR Development for a portion of the rear of 212 Spring Street for a purchase price of $170,000. And there are provisions in that so that the city can maintain access to its drainage canal easement relative to Spring Fishburne. We then approved a First Amendment to a lease agreement with Guy P. McSweeney over on Canehoy Road. This is for Fire Station 21. This agreement extends the lease by a few years. gives us some additional options and helps to facilitate parking for the benefit of our firefighters. The last item on the agenda was a transfer agreement between the city and Charleston Habitat for Humanity for 1345 Rutledge Avenue. And this is for the construction of affordable for sale housing for folks earning up to 80% of AMI. And we had late breaking news today that we've actually been able to modify the agreement so as to facilitate additional density on the site and build more than one unit of for sale housing. And that took place subsequent to our meeting yesterday. So I'd like to, I guess, Jennifer, please make sure I don't step all over myself here. Can I move to amend this as part of my full report?
Yes.
Okay, sounds great. So, and then we considered and approved all three annexations, one in District 10, one in District 9, one in District 5. All of these are residential properties, and I would move to have that entire report accepted with the amendment to item E relating to the contract amendment for additional density that
Second.
I mentioned.
Councilwoman Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Councilmember Appel. On item C, do you know what's going to be built? You said something about Spring Fishburne. Does that have something to do with Spring Fishburne, or what's the proposal there to be built?
So it's a good question. I'm not sure exactly what's going to be built. I'm not exactly sure what's going to be built in that rear portion of the property, but this is an area where there's a lot of development happening nearby. We've got that micro unit project that we approved last year. We've got a hotel nearby. And it looks like Magali is coming to my rescue. I can stall for maybe a couple more seconds.
You were doing pretty good. You were doing pretty good.
There you go. And she's at the microphone.
Good afternoon. That portion of the property is to provide interconnectivity to the additional properties owned by JJR in the back. And there's in your materials, a 10-foot no build zone that's going to be in the portion that's being conveyed to JJR.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Ms. Creech. I guess I was just curious. I didn't see any appraisals. Does the cost
We did
sound
have
about?
an appraisal.
Okay, I didn't see them in the packet, but
We
were
had an
there?
appraisal done through the real estate division, and I'm happy to forward that.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Any more questions? Back to the chairman. Oh, I'm sorry, Councilwoman Parker.
Okay, I spoke twice. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. How many units on E did it?
Well, I think the plan we approved yesterday was going to just have one, but it looks like the amendment's going to allow for two. All right, I got one.
Keep going. She's coming.
I mean, it's just great to have density wherever you can get it to solve our affordable housing problem.
So the likelihood, Councilwoman Parker, is that there will be three. In the agreement, we say four, but the likelihood is that it could possibly be three. We have the architect now revisiting that.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Do I hear a motion from the chairman?
We did.
He did. Was it seconded? Was second? Okay. All right. Moved and properly seconded that we approve
As amended.
Thank you, Mayor. That we approve the committee report as amended. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Is there anything else to come before this committee? Moved, meetings adjourned.